Hey, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and just want to give you a very quick heads up before I head off for dinner in terms of what's happening this weekend, in terms of the Brain Accelerator and Brain Supercharger. So if you are an entrepreneur or an employee and you know that it's coming to that time where you need to or you want to get your head back in the game post-COVID-19, if you want to supercharge your brain and just kind of get things firing on all cylinders, this is definitely for you. Also, if you are a parent and you've been struggling with homeschooling, or you're now starting to worry about how your children are going to catch up over the summer, then this one is kind of a no-brainer as well. So you've got until midnight tonight for the pre-launch, then a different price point will kick in. So that's all automated and now set up. Woohoo! But for, a lot of people were asking me over the summer, can I do an offer and a deal on the online photo reading video webinar training? The answer to that was basically no. For various reasons. One of the reasons is that it's a licensed program, so it has a particular unofficial official set point. It's also one of those things that those of you who have taken the training, there's feedback that I hear most often. Number one, oh my God, why didn't you tell me it was this? I wish I'd done it sooner. If I'd known it was going to be this good, I would have come years ago. So that's a very common response. Another very common response, normally even on the first night, which is the first day, which is the 4.5 hours that we're talking about here, people will say, wow, in terms of everything that's delivered and what we get, this is ridiculously underpriced. And so for various reasons, and also there's the infrastructure to set it up and the course materials, etc. So I haven't done a deal on the photo reading workshop. However, you asked, so I've partially answered. And what I have done is there's a £150 saving on day one of the photo reading video webinar workshop. So the running time on that one is 4.5 hours. And it really is almost like a self-contained course within itself as well. And one of the questions I had is the HUNA session included? Yes, it is. HUNA, H-U-N-A, for those of you who don't know. If you don't know anything about it, just type in hashtag HUNA, and I'm sure several of my posts and my blogs, etc., and videos will show up. And if not, let me know, I can point you in the right direction. So yes, the HUNA and Access Consciousness Belief Change session is included in that day one segment. So there's £150 off if you're, this evening. This is the page that you're going to be going to now. I did that a couple of hours ago. So we're currently, I believe, just at the 8-hour mark, ends at midnight Pacific time. And the reason it's Pacific time is I've got clients in Australia and America who really like the photo reading, so doing it on their time scale as opposed to just thinking about Europe and the UK. So that's the landing page that you will go to, and there's a countdown. The normal price of this one-day segment is £197, and if you're purchasing in the next 8 hours, it's £47. The price will then change at midnight PST, and there'll be a different price for the launch and then a different price to kind of roll out to the end of this month. But that's the page that you're actually looking for. In terms of feedback about this particular program, when I first ran it, and you'll be doing exactly the same program, let me just show you a few things that people have said. So one of them said, wow, this is a simple yet incredibly powerful and liberating skill to have that transforms and skyrockets your ability to absorb and recall information when needed. So that was someone who took part in the very first video webinar that I ran, which is the one you'll be taking part in as well. It's exactly the same recording. Somebody else said good flexibility of participating from my chosen location, especially as the days have been full. Combination of comprehensive, intense and fun delivery. And so this program is on demand. It's online, it's on demand. Once you've signed up, you get instant access to the program. The password is there. There's a document at the top that says how to access the video webinar replay. Your password is there. You click on the button, type in your name, your email address, put the password in, and that then takes you past the payment gateway. So you can get started as soon as today. What else we got here? And someone else who took part in this video webinar said inspiring, creative, intensive, engaging and brilliant. The full course is 21 hours, and we did it as 3 consecutive days. I ran it at exactly the same timings that I do for the in-person workshop, which is 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. on the Friday, and then we did the bonus HUNA belief change session from 7 till 8. And then we did 9:30 to 6:30 stroke 7. So actually we probably did about 22 and a half, 23 hours. And we did that the 9:30 to 6:30 on the Saturday and on the Sunday. Now, theoretically, people go, oh my goodness, that's a long time to be on a video webinar training. People were buzzing by the end, like bouncing and just like, wow, this is amazing. They had so much energy, they couldn't believe it themselves. So it's not your regular traditional training. If you think you know what an online video webinar training is, this is something different. And the reason it's something different, photo reading is about accelerated learning. It's about using your learning styles. It's about using all of the modalities. And when you bring those into play, it enhances the learning experience. So it's a whole different ball game. And in terms of those of you, if you're watching, if you're a parent, this is from someone who, it's a very short extract. There is a much longer version of everything that she said, and I've written a blog about that. I put that up about a week ago, and I've given you reactions from the mother, the father, the 11-year-old daughter, the teenage daughter, and the teenage son, who is an avid gamer and really didn't want to be at the training. And if you read his feedback at the end, he said something like, as a spiritual workout. It was just wonderful. So I've got perspectives from all of them, but she had said, the 11-year-old said, part of what she said is, Marilyn, you helped me so much being a better person and feeling better about myself. And this one is such a gift. Imagine doing something just for a few hours and you come out with a greater sense of self. And that not only happens to the youngsters. I have people, I've had someone who was, I didn't like to ask, but I think he was in his 80s, maybe early 90s. And the youngest attendee has been 7/8 years old. I say 7/8. She had a birthday while we were actually on the workshop. Now, this is somebody who was a similar age to myself. And she said, she's an author from Ireland. She says, you have opened up so many possibilities for me and inspired me to expand my life and knowledge. I don't feel as old as I did when I came. Thank you. So not only is it a kind of a wonderful, amazing, incredible workout for your brain, your mind, your creativity, your intuition, your critical thinking and decision-making skills, your memory, your recall, all of those things, it's also energetic, and people literally, as you can see here, feel different. Now, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, in terms of, let's get to some of the practicalities, some of you might know the lovely Naomi Tamayama. She's an entrepreneur, business owner, and a single mum, and this is something she posted on Facebook. I think it was a good year after she'd attended the workshop, because people always say, does it work, does it last? Yes, it does. I've had clients who 10 years later are still benefiting from photo reading. So Naomi said, I have spent less than an hour reading 8 books on a topic and have just compiled a piece of work from this. 8 books in 1 hour. Most people won't read 1 book in 1 hour, never mind going through 8 and getting enough information that you can now compile a piece of work. So if you are an entrepreneur and your head hasn't fully been in the game since the lockdown, COVID-19, and you know you also, and it might be you're still firing on all cylinders, you might be absolutely fine, but you know there's more you can do and you want to next level your game and next level your skills, this is totally for you. So, you know, that just gives you a little sense. And I think this is one of my favorite quotes overall. And this was a guy who, ignore the 20% off, that doesn't apply. Oh, actually it does, but it's more. You're saving £150 if you're booking in the next few hours. But he worked in IT and he just came to learn how to read faster, because that's what people think. And I did an interview with Abigail Barnes yesterday for her Productive Wellbeing show, and we were just talking off camera, and she said, oh, photo reading is quite intriguing. She said, Marilyn, once I'd explained to her what it is about the critical thinking, the decision making, enhancing your creativity, your, you know, ability to get more done with in less time, and all of those fantastic things, she said it's got the name is terrible. It doesn't do what it says on the tin? And I was like, totally. But I've stuck to the name because that's the official name. But we were discussing maybe I need to just put a different skin on that. But this guy came thinking it was just about reading faster, and his feedback was the best personal development course I have ever attended, hands down. And I remember this one distinctly. So I'm at the front of the room, I'm packing up on the Sunday night, and he walks up to me, hands me his feedback form, he delivers that line and just turns around and walks off. So really, for people are always stunned and astounded that it is a personal development workshop. And I know people, depending on your filters, your perceptions, but many people have quite a spiritual experience on the photo reading workshop. People always have a life changing, life affirming, transformational experience. Oh, and yeah, by the way, there's a thing where they can now read at 25,000 words per minute and photo read a whole book from start to finish in about 5 minutes. But for me, it's almost like, yeah, it's very interesting about the 25,000 words a minute and the photo reading a whole book in 5 minutes. Where it really gets interesting is what it does to you as a human being. And seriously, the benefits of photo reading just keep going. I'm 20 years in, and 18 years at this point I've been an instructor. I did my instructor training with Dr. Paul Sheely in March 2002. To this day, photo reading still surprises and delights and astounds me. And my clients will attest to that as well. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a very long link. So what I will do, if you're watching this in real time and you just scroll down on my page, you will see the links. It's the picture is the whole thing that says Google for your brain. I don't know if I've got it in my stack. Let me just see if I can upload it while I'm here. And I don't want to do that. We'll cancel that one. Yeah, so that's not the one I was looking for. I think it's that one. So I'll just see if I can quickly find the image that you're actually going to be looking out for. Now it's called that's the one. Alrighty. So let's see, by the wonders of the powers of modern technology, let me see if I can show you that one. There we go. So this is the image, so that you'll see that image. If you scroll down on my page, there's a link to it. And what I'll also do is I'll put a link in the comments of this video. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description. So that's the image that you're looking for. And I've just noticed something while I was scrolling, looking for that. In terms of the way the Huna works, because one of the questions I get is, well, it's a recording, is it still going to work? The answer to that is yes. And also in terms of working with groups and different people, on this particular event, you can see the slide on the screen at the moment, there are 550 people in that audience. I did 2-3 minutes of Huna. And for the next 4 days, I could not walk 2 steps without somebody coming up to say, oh my God, I don't know what you were doing on stage, but that thing, and then they'll be relaying what happened for them. And everybody had very unique and very personal experiences, but it was the same Huna. And that's exactly what people kind of experience. So you can see I know it's pretty small probably on your device, but that's Greg Braden, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton. So, it's a kind of one of those heavy hitting industry events. And so for me, really fantastic that people were so impressed and so loved the Huna. So I always say it's a bit like, I don't drink, but when I was growing up, there's an advert for a beer company called Heineken. Heineken refreshes the parts other beers cannot reach, and Huna for me is one of those modalities that does exactly that. In terms of the Huna session itself on the photo reading workshop, this was from one of the attendees. She says, talk about grabbing the bull by the horns. When you did the Huna healing on me, oh my God, exclamation mark. I couldn't believe how accurate your diagnosis was. You didn't tell me you're a doctor as well as everything else. And this was probably the 2nd or 3rd time that I'd ever used the Huna on the photo reading workshop. The first time around, her husband, some of you might know Suki Wahiwala, Suki came on the workshop, immediately said to me, I've got to send my family. This is amazing. And, you know, people often say that, oh, I've got to send a group and I've got to send my team. And I'd say 8 times out of 10, for whatever reason, they just don't get around to doing it. It's, you know, too difficult for them to organize and get everyone in the same place, so people then tend to come individually rather than commissioning a whole bespoke workshop. But sure enough, a couple of weeks later, Suki was straight back on it and said, okay. And so this is from Parvinder, his lovely wife. And so Suki's group was the very first time I'd experimented with using the Huna, and that was just mind-blowing. And so by the time Parvinder and Suki's children came to the workshop, I'd probably only maybe done it once or twice again. So they were in that test group, but that was the experience they had. And I was literally just going around and doing, you know, 2-3 minutes of Huna. Again, similar to the TCCHE event. So that's kind of what to expect. And in terms of the global, in terms of it's a recording, this is from one of my clients out in Australia who is on my e-newsletter list. And those of you who are on my e-newsletter list, you will know when I'm testing out a new process or something like that, I will normally go to my e-newsletter list and I'll ask for volunteers to test it out, give me feedback. So the lovely Pippa Neve, who is, you can see her quote here, she wasn't able to make it because in terms of the time zone, you're just so different. So it's the middle of the night for her. So a couple of days later, she listened to the MP3 recording, just the audio, no visual. And this was the email that she sent me. It wasn't until last year when I was answering the question about does the energy travel to the group of people who were doing my 10-part Raising Your Money Vibration series. So I'm reading this quote from Pippa and then I suddenly got goosebumps. I was like, oh my goodness. I realized that when she wrote it years ago, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. But what I hadn't realized is what Pippa is describing is the order and sequence in which I did the Huna. She would have had no idea because in those days, I didn't even talk about the symbols. All she would have heard was, and if you're a Huna practitioner, you're a Huna master, you will have no idea what I just did and what symbols those were. So that's all Pippa would have heard. But I realized when I was reading it last year, some 2-3 years after she'd listened to the recording, I suddenly realized she was describing the order and sequence in which I delivered the Huna on that MP3. She's really specific. So she said initially my third eye and my throat center and my solar plexus all felt compressed. And that's where I opened with a symbol. The literal translation is thunder comes down and strikes the earth and makes the earth shake. And where people are quite sensitive to energy, they feel it as a pushback. And that's what I did to open the session. She then says it was uncomfortable to say the least. And then after the first round of Huna, I sensed the image of a triangle of fire. What she would have had no idea about listening to that recording is once I'd done that thing where you break the energy up, I had then used the red triangle, the symbol, to then metaphorically burn away the ashes and embers of what we've just broken up. She would have had no idea about that. She then says, during and after the second round, I felt pain being drawn out of my body by my heart center. What she wouldn't have known is at that point, I then did a symbol to open up the heart center and the solar plexus. And then I used a process which we use quite a lot, let's say with the soul plan readings, which is a sword fingers where you're drawing the energy out and clearing it. Again, she would have had no idea. And I could carry on reading and I can break down for you everything I did and exactly what Pippa said. It was pretty much word for word, but all she would have heard is, that's it. So in answer to the question, does the energy still translate in the recording? There you go. Yes, it does. So that's one that I've been asked a few times as well. And actually, while we're on the subject of the soul plan reading, for those of you who have booked to join me for the Global Soul Plan video webinar, what I wanted to do is let the bookings just run for this week. So I'll probably give people till Tuesday, Wednesday, and towards the end of next week, what I'll do is I'll email everyone who's booked. Now, you should all have received the PDF, the written copy of your soul plan reading. And then what I'll do is I'm going to send you a series of dates. And for those who want to join me live for the webinar, when I do the group soul plan readings, choose the date, say if you can do all 4 or 5 of the dates, say you can do all of them, and then I'm going to choose a date which everyone can do. And if you can't make it live, or you're not that fussed about making it live, there will be a replay recording. So that's just a little aside, because I know I had a question about that, so just in case you happen to be watching this video. But that's for the global soul plan readings. Cool. So if you would like to take part in this offer, it's instead of £197, it's £47 at the moment. You've probably now got about 7.5 hours to get that particular price. The link will still work tomorrow. It will just be at a different price. And what you get access to is day 1 of the 3-day photo reading video webinar training. So it's online, it's on demand, it's a video webinar. Actually, I don't know if I've got a picture of, let's see if I've got it in my stack here. Actually, while I'm looking for that, you can look at this. So that's the page you're going to be going to. That's what, you know, that's where the course is housed. I'm just looking to see if I've got a copy of what the back office. No, I don't think I've got it in here in terms of what the back office of the webinar looks like. Oh, I have actually. Let me just, there's that. It's a little bit small. Oh, it's very small, very small. Oh, actually, I know why, because that's a page on a blog or on a slide. But basically, the way it's set up, I'm not using this platform. I'm on an enterprise level webinar platform. But you've got the PowerPoint slides. They take center stage. You've got a video of me where I'm teaching the class, and because it was filmed with a live studio audience, oh, I feel like a TV presenter. This was filmed with a live studio audience. Because it was filmed with a live studio audience, I'm also going through all of the questions that they're asking in real time, which will most likely be similar to your questions, and so you get all of those questions answered. So that's just a tiny snippet of what it looks like in terms of the back office. But if you have any further questions or queries, etc., that will be a misnomer, because I'm not going to be looking at email until Monday. But you can, in the meantime, send an email to marilyn@transformationstm.com. Marilyn is MARILYN at trans, TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark, so Marilyn@transformationstm.com. Main website is www.transformationstm.com. And if you do /photo reading, that will take you to the photo reading page. But also on the home page, there's a picture of a PC, a Mac, and if you click on, and there are 3 options there, but you can click through to the main site. But you will need, no, you, actually, I'll tell you what, the easiest way to do it is just go to transformationstm.com. There's a red button at the top. Have I got a makeup of that? Let me see if I've got a mock-up here. Because there's, oh, here, yes, I have. Yes, I have. Okay, so go to the main website, transformationstm.com. Never mind the /photo reading for now. If there's a red button at the top that says what's new, click on that, and then a panel comes out, as you can see on the screen here, from the right hand side, and I've just uploaded the link where you can get the £47 instead of £197 offer. So that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Go to the transformationstm.com website, click on the red what's new button, and that's always, if I'm running webinars or I've got something coming up, or you know, a new blog post, etc., I tend to put it on the what's new, because there's so much on my site. It's challenging sometimes to find where everything is, but the what's new is if something specific is coming up, you can always go to the website and click the what's new. So that's my suggestion. Go on there, click the what's new. The offer for the £47 intro is the top thing. I've just uploaded it a couple of hours ago. Click on that, and it will take you through to the landing page where you can sign up for day 1 of the photo reading video webinar training. Cool. So yeah, if you want to save yourself £150 and next level your skills as we come out of lockdown, or you know, it's been brilliant for children and families. So I will maybe put the link into the blog I've written as well, if you wanted to read the testimonials from all of those different perspectives and viewpoints in terms of the family, the children, and the entrepreneurs and business owners. I'll add that link into the comments of this Facebook video as well. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you are all having a brilliant, wonderful weekend, and that you are fit and healthy and well and safe. And if you know anyone who could benefit from these skills, please feel free to share this video or send them the link. That'll be really, really appreciated. And if you're someone who's actually taken the photo reading class, you know, when you're sharing, it's always nice for other people to hear. So feel free to add a sentence about your experience of the training as well, because people like to know what other people have said about it over and above what I've said, because of course I think it's fabulous. And it was absolutely life-changing for me, having been diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's in my 20s, and really struggled with that for years. And photo reading within a matter of days absolutely turned everything around, and I've not looked back since. And I've had clients with dyslexia, dyspraxia, even brain damage and brain inflammation come on the workshop and experience the changes just by doing that for the first day, which is the offer that is available to you that I'm talking about here. So it has been, you know, when I say life-changing and a game changer, I do not use those words lightly. It has been, I cannot imagine my life without photo reading. So cool, fabulous. So feel free to share if you know someone who could benefit from this. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all later. Bye bye.